Welcome again, welcome again. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you guys for watching another second episode, actually the second cast of EDPN, bringing you the entertainment and debate news that's going on across the YouTubes, the internet, everywhere. Social, regular news, YouTube, beef news, everything. Bringing it to you live as fresh as I can get it. Now, what I want to say is there's been a lot of heat going on in these YouTube streets. A lot. Man, I mean, there's been some things going on. And it's been quite exciting for, I'm just saying, listening to it. It's very entertaining. I don't know exactly what is going on. I mean, Sister Nandi is out there blazing and putting fires on motherfuckers. I mean, she's really going in on people live and in person. So that's one of the sisters you have to, if you ain't subscribed to the channel, you ain't heard her, seen her, man, I'm telling you, that's something that you may want to go take a look at. One of the things that's going on is, this thing is about, snitching and telling the police, or, how, going from different platforms to another platform, and loyalties are being challenged on during the debate platforms and so forth and so on. So once I said, it's been one of those things. It's been really interesting, very, very interesting, as far as what's going on. And so I wanted to go in and say that because if you want to know exactly, in YouTube, right? It's like this big dramatic thing. And unless you are tuned in to certain people platforms, you won't know how they connect. Like you'll see one thing on one platform, but then you won't see exactly what transpired or what led up to it if you don't go to another platform. It's like a multiverse, right? We are talking about a multiverse on the YouTube internet streets in this debate league and other news. I mean, we talking about things getting heated just, for topics and things being brought in. And, so it's like I said, it's been very interesting. And so with that, we'll go on to our first news for EDPN, Entertainment and Debate Programming Network. We're going to be looking at SVDL. Now, I know that they just had another debate today, and so pardon me for late. As I get going, I'll try to be up to date exactly, not to be one day behind, but to be actually on time. But they do debates regularly on SVDL, so the program has I don't know, anywhere from 25 to 30 debaters, and they're constantly debating. So as a content creator and so important on it, it's a little bit challenging to stay up with everything. But the current news as of yesterday, not counting today's statistics and scoring, we had Madon and Yanga. Now, Yanga came out with the victory. As you can see, it was close. It was 145 to 134. But these brothers, Yanga is somebody that came in from this year, wasn't there last year, and very intelligent, sharp brother, and his questioning and his way he deciphers information is really strong. And he was one of the people that when I first heard of him, and then I kind of heard he was kind of connected with, and then I saw one of his debates. And it was just like another one of the brothers. I was like, man, you got to kind of watch out for him. He is a debater. He's very sharp. He understands arguments. He knows how to put a presentation together. He understands the format of SVDL, and which is a learning curve for a lot of other debaters when they first come on. But for him, it seemed like it hasn't been that way. He's going straight into, as far as him being in that format. Madon Kemet is not a guy who you want to sleep on. As a former judge on SVDL, a lot of debaters kind of slept on him. But I thought that if he tweaked a little bit of things here and there, I thought he would be a solid debater. And as you can see, 145 to 134 it's not that big of a difference. I mean, we're talking about 150 points. We're talking about, you're talking about the opening, the premise, the rebuttal, the rapid fire. You have the closing, then you have the presentation, the overall, and it's just, little points here and there, which will up his score, another 6 to 8 points. And so that's one of the things that, about the Solar Vision Debate League, which makes it unique when you start talking about the other debate leagues and other platforms that are on here. It's the organization and structure in which they have, and it allows a debater to become well-rounded. It trains them and gives them a practice on how to present and how to perform on the internet. So I like to give it up to these brothers for a great debate yesterday. Suave Boss debated today, and one thing with Suave is that you can't sleep on him. As I said, Suave is going to be a contender this year. As you can see, you have Domo in the rankings. Domo, Suave, and Nyame, Holleigh. We got Rio. That's Black Politics. Out the blue at number 8. Brother Moses. That's one of the brothers that I'm looking for some big things to happen with him coming into the playoffs, which will be pretty soon. Blackson is another brother. Him, Brother Moses. Yanga is going to be one of those things. You know what I'm saying? That I see a Cinderella story happening. I don't know if they're gonna make it all the way to the ball, but I definitely see them possibly taking out some of the veterans early into the playoffs. You have Scheme KOT, Just Me, Yahoo Kanan, and Lance. And so that's what's happening in SVDL, home of the Shuckle Buck by Solar Mind. And if you haven't heard them, you might want to subscribe to the channel, look them up, see what they got going on. And if you're a debater and you want to get your feet wet, he has, like I said, the league is designed to have you come in and have you debate against some very strong, formidable debaters. As I said in my last episode, a lot of debaters that was on SVDL have went to other platforms and they're debating, and they're some of the top debaters in these leagues, which have bigger platforms. So it's a great place to go, great place to shine, develop your skills, and get your feet wet in this YouTube life of debate on this platform. And so with that, I would like to talk about another debate, which I would like to call Debate of the Week, or it's been a little bit over a week, but I like to call Debate of the Week, right? And what we're talking about is Brother Yara and Brother Rob Born. Now, these two brothers, I am a fan of Rob Born. I love his information. I like how he deciphers it. And, I'm a fan of also Yara. Yara was a fellow judge. I've known Yara before we were judges together. And another brother who's also on, he's also was on SVDL. He's been one of those brothers where, he knows his information. He knows the book. He knows history. Yara is a very formidable debater and a very intelligent brother. So is Rob Born. Rob Born's I think he more specialized in West Africa and as well as the rest of African history, but he spends a little more time that I've known spending on West Africa and U.S. history. When going into this debate, when it was about the Hebrew doctrine, was the Black Hebrew doctrine born in America? Now, I thought this was going to be a tough debate for Yara, just with my knowledge of the doctrine of the Hebrew Israelites, Black Hebrew Israelites in America, as well as Judaism and American history. And when we look at it, we saw that, Rob Born stuck with his go-to. He stuck with the actual doctrine as it is practiced in the U.S. with Esau being, the Caucasian, the white man being the devil, and how they preach it and how they stand on it today, how that doctrine came into be, where Yara was speaking on the fact that, they were Hebrew Israelites that were black before coming to America, right? And so that was one of those things in which, I thought that was very unique in the argument. One of the things that I saw was, Yara was speaking from a point of more like history with Judaism and its development, how the migration, and then how it got to America. I believe what Rob Born was successful in doing was not chasing any type of like straw mans or pitfalls or traps, and by sticking with how, that's not the doctrine he's talking about. That's not what he's talking. He's not talking about Judaism. He's talking about, his argument is the doctrine is his practice here. And I think he was successful in doing that. And one thing that I noticed that you have on HOK, and this was where it was held on, the House of Consciousness, Sinetta, and, Yara had a score, of what people thought. 25% of the people thought Yara actually won that debate, whereas 75% thought that Rob Born won. And I would have to agree. I would go with the side of Rob Born just based on how the premise was laid and what Rob Born argument was. But once again, this was a very, very good debate. These brothers put it in. And like I said, if the debate would have been maybe, put together a different way, I think you would have saw a flip on this, on the way that the scoring system was. But Rob Born came out with the win on HOK. It was one of those debates, and big ups to both of the brothers. I wonder if we'll be able to get them in a ring again on HOK, see exactly what they would like to either continue this debate or they would like to go into another debate, because I do know that on the first debate they had, they had some technical difficulties, I believe, and so they had to have a part 2. But they came back pretty strong in the debate, and my boy Rob Born came out the winner. You know what I'm saying? And he's a good brother. Both are good brothers. Good brothers. Every time these are people that you can actually call for information, and they will be there. They'll give it to you if they have the time. So next up, I would like to say is this. This is an interview I had with Chris, and some technical difficulties happened, and it was just a disaster. I'm learning, but I'm trying to get this information out there and seeing what's going on. Chris Harris has a undefeated record. I don't know if anybody else has an undefeated record or can say they have an undefeated record like Chris. I think it's about 32-0 is his undefeated winning streak. Excuse the typo in there. It's his undefeated winning streak that he has on there, and Chris has he's continually just continually been putting on clinics. He's been putting on these clinics, and he's one of those brothers where he's very thorough. As Zion Lexx would say, he's very meticulous in when he's debating. Very meticulous. He understands the argument to a point where tearing it down or presenting his arguments becomes just systematic. It's very easy, non-stressful for him to lay down his points. In this debate, Chris stayed very poised. He stayed very poised and answers questions. And when he did that, I think it hurt Zion. It hurt Zion a little bit because, Zion, he while laying down his information, he seemed to get a little bit unraveled. Now, where I thought that Zion Lexx would pick up a lot of ground was if he got into the language. If he could drag Chris into the language, or discredit Chris based on language, I thought that would be one of the things that Zion Lexx would actually get Chris on. And it was one of the things that he almost did. Zion almost did. Now, when he told Chris about those books, and Chris said, yeah, I got him, and he just did like that, and he told him to go get him. Hey, it wouldn't have won him the debate, but it did push him over a little bit at that point in time, because at this point he's discrediting Chris. Chris didn't have to do that. It was kind of off topic. It wasn't about the language. And so it was another one of those just fun. It was one of those fun moments that you saw, and it was kind of laughable. But Chris stayed poised, and Chris showed in his argument that the slave trade in Deuteronomy 28 didn't have anything to do. I mean, the slave trade didn't have to do anything with Deuteronomy 28. That he showed how there was other stories, and there's other parables from other cultures, and that's from other civilizations. Now, Chris really studies on comparative mythology and religion. Chris, being a ex-Hebrew Israelite, he was part of the Toranites. He was actually he was the biggest advocate and speaker of Toranites. And as African spirituality, Kemetic, whatever you want to call it, Chris has been truly the Hebrew slayer, and he's been tearing down doctrines, and he's just been on a roll. And when he defeated Vocab Malone, I was like, that was pretty crazy, because Vocab is a formidable guy. He knows his information. He's well studied. If anybody ever seen that episode on Sinetta, when Sinetta would go pick him up, he had a suitcase of books. Like, who carries a suitcase of books with them? So he's locked and loaded wherever he goes. But he didn't have enough bullets in his gun for Chris. Chris came up with that victory as well, and the community voted Chris the winner by a considerable margin. Now, this margin with Lexx, Chris Harris, 77% of the people felt that Chris won, where 23% of the people thought Zion won. That's kind of a landslide. And I think based on the topic, based on the arguments, Chris is well deserving of that 77% based on the argument. Now, the question now is, where does Lexx go from here? Will there be a part two? Who will Zion debate against next, or is just going to do some classes, some lectures? We have no idea quite yet what is going to happen with the future of Zion Lexx. I do know that Chris is cutting up through HOK, though. He's coming hard for whoever. And there's been some beef going on with Chris, and not beef, but I'll say there's definitely been some contention and argument with Chris Harris and Black Jesus Minister. And it's kind of funny because everybody know Black Jesus Minister is very entertaining. He's Ecclesiastes 3, kick your ass Christian, Hebrew, Kemetic, Islamic, out of more. He's all of that, you know, and he's been you know, talking to Chris and on Saturday, and there's been some contention there. And I can't wait to see. I don't know if Chris will get in the ring with him, though. I don't know. It's not that Chris is scared. I think that Chris really wants Black Jesus Minister to come with some better arguments or have a little bit more equity and entertainment for face value. That's what I believe. But, you know, who knows? He might get in the ring with him. He just might. So, you know, hey, you guys got to be looking out for what Chris got going on next. Who's going to beat him? Who's going to end this winning streak? You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be hard, man, because as I've been saying, I'll say it again, man. Chris has a squad with Team Osiris. So, you know, if you think, you know, if you're just a guy and you just by yourself and you do your own research, man, you have to be really prepared, like really, really, really prepared to take Chris. You know what I'm saying? So with that, heads off to MVP Chris Harris on his win, on his streak continues in HOK. So, hey, be looking out for MVP, see what he got going on. You know he's going to do what he do. Hatepu. Now, in closing, I would like to say there's some debates that's coming up. One of the debates that I would want everybody to look out for, right, is the debate with Jabari and Garfield. Now, once again, Jabari is the HOK champ. Now, I know Black Jesus Minister say he's the HOK champ. He's the House of Calcium champ. He's the champ of this and that. Okay. But I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say right now that Jabari is the HOK champ. Jabari by far, you know what I'm saying? If you talk about leagues, I mean, I ain't saying that Black Jesus Minister ain't in his league, but I'm just saying, you know, Jabari had a conversation with Black Jesus Minister, and, you know, I don't know how Black Jesus Minister could think he won that debate. I really don't. But Jabari is the GOAT right now. You know what I'm saying? And then Chris is right behind him. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see if Chris and Jabari ever debate. I don't know what they exactly debate for. Maybe they have to debate something that's kind of like out of both of their, you know, bag. And I don't know, debate who's better, you know, Superman or Shazam or something like that. I don't know. But it'll be good. But back to Jabari and Garfield. Jabari, I believe, is going to I got my money on Jabari in this topic about West Africa. And, you know, Jabari is a very also well-studied scholar. And I didn't know it, but, you know, Jabari was a professional, he would not say professional, but he was a researcher in college. And he's also a Lincoln Douglas debate trained debater. Now, those are some of the things that I believe that Jabari has an advantage over a lot of his opponents, a lot of his, you know, people that's going to debate him. A lot of debaters don't have that type of field of study, as he's a priest, he's a historian, he's also Lincoln Douglas debate trained debater, and he's a trained researcher in college. So, you know, after hearing these things, it really surprised me. And I can't wait till I can have an actual interview with him on my channel where I can talk to him about this. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, some people getting in you know, you getting into the octagon with somebody, or you know, you're doing jujitsu and you are a brown belt. And this, your opponent's a black belt, 3rd degree. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. You know, and I'm not saying that the brother's unbeatable. I am just saying that the brother got some skills, right? So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, according to these polls, you know, they're saying that right now that Jabari, you know, is up there as far as in the polls. They're saying that Jabari is 73% of the people think that Jabari will win this debate against Garfield, where that's you're talking about 26% of the people, or I'm sorry, 27% of the people that thinks that Garfield has a chance. Now that's pretty much Garfield has a 1 in 3 odds. Now in Vegas, I would take those odds. Man, not against Jabari, I wouldn't, but that's some good odds to take if you're a betting man. Good payout if Garfield can come with it and bring it. I don't know what he's going to bring. Once the debate happens, he might have some different information. He might present a different way. He might have another focus on it. Who knows? I mean, Garfield stays studied up, and he presents information. Another good brother who you can call if you have some information. You can call him, message him, and Garfield will give you a call. He'll talk to you, give you the right information, give you the information to look at, and do your own research on. So that's one of the things that I would like to tell everyone. And like I said, when you have this information, you want to tell everyone. You want to make sure that everyone has it, and you want to be able to go to these people who have the information so you can look it up, or they can find out where to look it up at. Also, with Jabari has a book out, right? And it's been on Amazon for a little bit, and it's actually been one of the #1 books for sales, on Amazon. And, it's the Misconceptions and Misinformation by the Black Hebrew Israelites, Volume 1 by Garfield. Read this book, just so you know. I would tell you to get it if I didn't get it, right? I have my book. I'm just now starting to get into the book and starting to read it, but I do have my book, and actually I'm going to send my book back to the brother, and I'm going to have him autograph it because he wrote it. The book has been getting great reviews on Amazon, 4.1 out of 5 stars, great reviews. So if it's something that you guys would, it's a great book, you got information in it, take a look at his book, and send your reviews, support the brother. Anytime you can support, you got to do that. Hey, tell us what you think. Tell us what you think. So, as we get ready to end this, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure talking with you guys. Look out for the next debates that are going down. Coming in for March. And hey, we'll see you out here when we get there. And y'all be safe.